Hey guys, my name is Kaylee. I'm an artist in my free time, and this is my first time working with Twitch. Please bear with me as this is my very first time trying to figure out Twitch. But I'm gonna probably do an introduction here and just find a picture to draw. I know we got one kind of just sitting right here, but I want to try teaching you guys how to draw, if that makes sense. I shouldn't say if that makes sense, but we're gonna flip my computer to a tablet. So I already have a picture picked out. We're gonna try practicing it. We'll see how it goes. So my wife actually plays this game called Moe Can Change, and she has quite a bit of myroids, is what they're called. So I wanted to draw one of them, so I had her send me a bunch of them. Sorry for the weird, awkward silence. Alright, let's get started. So, usually what I like to do, first turn on my pen, of course. I like to use Clip Studio Paint for this, just because it is an easier format to use. Just keep in mind it may not be the way that everyone draws exactly, but it's just easier for me to draw like this. One thing I like to do with a bunch of my drawings is that I like to use triangles, which is kind of weird in a way, but triangles kind of help you gain perspective on what you're trying to draw. As you can see, I'm making a bunch of lopsided triangles. We're leaving some space here because our character here is going to have wings. We should probably move it down just so I can access the feet. So how's your guys' day going? I know mine is kind of interesting. We have what looks like a giant blizzard going on outside, which doesn't exactly bode well with me, because that just means more snow to clean off my car and all that stuff, which is great. One thing I like to hone in that you'll see me do quite a bit is that I mess up a lot on my drawings. You'll find me constantly erasing or going over lines that I made, but it's just to kind of help me out here. And it's okay to actually make mistakes with drawing because you have to learn somehow. And I am using a reference picture so that way I can tell what I'm drawing or how I can draw it. Got the triangle going here. And as you can see, I'm trying not to put too much detail in it, just because I want to be able to add some more detail later on, but also just to get the basic figure down, to figure out where everything goes, because if you don't really do that, then you kind of end up with a really topsy-turvy looking picture. And whenever you do actually decide to make a new outline, you want to start on a new different layer. I usually like using the dense watercolor just because it makes some really nice vibrant colors that makes it really easy to blend later on. Plus it adds a really soft tone to your picture. Okay, second thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up towards the top. Make sure your stabilization's on, because if you don't, you're going to have quite a few scriggly lines. Scriggly. Yeah, I know how to talk. But with a lot of beginning artists, a lot of the biggest mistakes is learning how to draw without with a mouse, without making it look like all your lines are jagged like this. I'll show you a difference. For example, this makes a nice smooth line and it's all pressurized. However, if you take the stabilization off, you can clearly tell that it's not straight, it's not smooth, and as a result makes your picture look really weird. So if you are a beginning artist, the first thing I would suggest is learning how to utilize the stabilization device on your program, just because it would make it easier for you down the line, but also makes it look a lot better. I forgot to turn my stabilization off. See? Already learning some lessons here. See how smooth that line is? And I do put this line right here just so you can tell where the eyes are supposed to go. Just for now, we're gonna just make a sketch of what the person looks like. Looks like. Looks like. Yeah, I can't really talk. And don't worry about clothes, because that comes with practice. For the first 10 years of my life, I struggled with it, and everything looked off. either had too many wrinkles or it had wrinkles where it didn't need to have wrinkles. What you'll find with a lot of drawings is that the less that you do, the better it looks. Another typical mistake people usually make when they're drawing is that when they're drawing somebody falling, they usually like to go this way with their hair. And though that is easier to do by default, it's not realistic. You want to make sure that the gravity falls with the hair. Please excuse my snuffling. I have a bit of a cold going on, and all this snow is not helping. Just got done having like negative 45-degree weather with wind chill, so obviously gonna be struggling a bit. Plug it. I plugged it a long time ago, so meh. Another thing that I find with myroids is that a lot of the clothes are really complicated. Just gonna figure out where this arm goes. See, it's that perception thing that we talked about earlier. These don't exactly have to have a lot more detail because it's off in the distance. So you see, I'm not putting too much detail in the fingers that aren't showing. We just kind of want to put the focus more on the shape of the hand. More specifically, like where the thumb is and the index finger lies. One trick that I learned was actually really helpful, especially if you're doing side profiles, is to make a square. You see where this goes? That's where the ending of the nose goes. From here, you draw the mouth, then you draw the lip. This actually shows you where the eye would be in perspective, because your eye looks like this from the side. It's not like this. Because obviously you'd probably have like a split eye or something, but it'll have more of a triangular shape with a curve for the iris. Because of course your eye is going to jut out. Then be more like this. So where you're looking, here's a smiley face. There you go. The eyeball. And you got your eyebrows. So keep in mind this is not exactly the final picture. Or the final outline, actually, I should say. But really, it's kind of just like a precursor to the precursor to the precursor. Yeah, I make a lot of layers, especially since I'm really anxious about how it turns out. So I don't want to mess up anything. So obviously, I end up kind of making too many layers. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having too many layers because then you know how to. Because in your mind, you kind of keep track of them all. It makes sense. Essentially, whatever helps you best keep track of them, because some people would actually label these like, hey, this is the outline, this is the coloring for the hair. I don't do that, though I should. So I just kind of sit there and go like this until I find the layer that I need. Probably shouldn't do that, but I do. Gotta be mindful of the folds. So the person that I'm drawing has frills. And again, this is where a good part of it comes into play where it's like it's all triangles. Because when you do clothing folds, they typically fall into triangles. So for example, this would be the elbow. See, it's all triangular. Well, when it comes to frills like this, they also kind of follow the same logic. So you draw kind of like a wavy line. This is where it folds. And then kind of segregate them by triangles, of course. Then you kind of just draw where the folds fold in. And that's how you make that. That's just a simplified version, though. It's not always correct, but goodness me. There we go. Now we fixed it. See, the person I'm supposed to be drawing is technically a boy. I know it looks like a girl, but it's actually a boy. Then again, what is gender? Not quite sure. They're kind of wearing somewhat of a dress. This is what it looks like so far. So he comes back to the triangular thing with folds. Look. I guess freezing up. You know, I tried exercising for the first time today. I usually go for like walks and stuff like that, but this time I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try some of like those Zumba things that I see so much about. And good God, I almost died. So by the time I got to the end of the first or second video, I had sweat running off of me. 0 to 10 would not recommend, but recommend for your health. And with wings, you kind of want to just make them in layers. Because as you can see, that's exactly what I'm doing. I like to draw birds a lot, so it's just easier. I mean, you could go like this. That's like the cute version of it. I mean, you could go that route. Be easier. Or you can like do what I'm doing and just put layers in it. It's like Shrek. And full of layers. And we got what looks like an outline. Woo! I like to combine my layers. Ew, there's a giant gust of wind outside and it just blew a bunch of snow off my roof. I went for a walk earlier today and it was just like blowing in my face. It was not fun. Okay, next part is everyone's favorite. It's the outline. I mean, you could start coloring if you wanted to, but obviously it would kind of be a pain in the ass. Excuse my French. Why do they call it French? Like, does it even go like that? So we're gonna use mechanical pencil next for our next layer, which is our outline layer. Yeah, we could do the watercolor pencil, but it wouldn't really do us justice with the lines. Forgot the frills. See? Kind of made like an easier line. Oh, forgot to turn the stabilization on. That's why I was having such a hard time with it. Like I said, gotta use that stabilization. We'll fix that down the line. So I should probably give a little bit of backstory. So I've been drawing since since I was a kid, really. But I didn't start intensely getting into it until I was like 13, 14. Up till that point, I just kind of doodled and I made my own little characters, but it was never my intention to actually start drawing at such high frequencies. Now I kind of just sell stuff. I do commissions. Make my own stickers. All sorts of stuff, which you can pretty much find in my bio. I'm still working on my website. I wouldn't say that I have a distinct art style that I stick to because sometimes I do actually do other things other than cartooning, but I do realism. Sometimes I do surrealism, but majority of the time it's cartooning. Just because it's a comfort area for me. To say I'm good at it would be kind of bragging, but I think I'm decent enough to where I could make a good side job out of it. Oh, I forgot to erase that. Well, darn. I've actually had people ask me if I wanted to be a teacher. As much as I love art, I would never make an intense job out of it. Just because I know that I'm not that good. I feel like people that are 5 times better than me do a really decent job at making a steady income, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it. So, therefore, I do this as a side job. I would like to teach some classes. Kind of like this whole Twitch thing. It's actually pretty calming. It's like you're talking to an invisible friend. Plug in my computer. There we go. Of course, I forgot to plug it in. No! Forgot to plug my computer in to the jack. So I gotta go underneath the bed to get it. There we go. And there we have it. Now, I know I'll finish it at some point, but I probably won't finish it in this stream just because I would like to kind of still play around with Twitch and try to figure out how Twitch works. I'm still pretty new at that. But I hope you guys at least learned something from me. Or at least got to learn something you never got to learn before. So, it was nice meeting you all, and have a great day.